Champ Gang? This is Sade of Shardenodyzoff. Today we are going to have a quick chat. That's right, a quick chat about Paris, the city of lights. I have been to Paris now 3 times in my adult life, and each time I have come to appreciate the city more. This last time I really enjoyed my time there, and I wanted to share with you 5 things that you should know about Paris, as well as the 5 things that I love about the city. So there, you're getting a 2-in-1. So let's get started. Number 1, Paris is extremely accessible, not only by the Eurorail, but also by its metro system. It has, I would say, arguably one of the most efficient metro systems that I've been on in my travels, and it is definitely helpful for getting around the different parts of the city, because it is a pretty large city and it's separated into arrondissements, which are the neighborhoods. The city is sort of set up in a little bit of a shell shape like that. And you know, it could be long walk or taxi ride, so the metro definitely cuts down on the time you spend as well as the money you can spend traveling to other parts of the city. You can buy day passes, tickets, or you can get a week pass or a few days pass. I definitely encourage that, especially if you're going to be in the city more than a couple of days. Andy and I purchased our metro passes at the airport. When you come into Charles de Gaulle, you can go down into the basement once you get into the airport area, and you will be able to pick up your rail pass. I believe ours cost between 35 and 45 euro. I have to double check to see how much it costs, but I think that's about right. And it lasted a week. We ended up not using it, but for us it was better to have it and not use it than need it and not have it and have to spend more on each trip we took on the metro. Which brings me to number 2. Paris is a walking city to me. You can get anywhere you want to go on foot, and more importantly, you should, because it allows you to see so many more things if you are on foot as opposed to taking the rail or as opposed to taking a cab or whatever. You can do the bus tours. It's another city that has bus tours, but I personally enjoyed being able to walk everywhere. Andy and I stayed near the Eiffel Tower, which was fantastic, and we walked everywhere we wanted to go. We were able to get to the Champs-Élysées, to Musée d'Orsay, to the Louvre, to the Lock Bridge on the River Seine. All of that was in 20 to 30 minutes walking distance, so it was definitely worth it to go on foot. And with that, you get sort of the heartbeat of the city, and you're able to just be among the people. And I think that's really cool, even as somebody who's an introvert. I loved to just like seeing people walking around, taking pictures, standing in front of things, you know, having their coffee and their teas on the side of the road at the little coffee shops. Like, all of that is super cool to me, and I'm glad that we got to sort of be part of that, as it were. So definitely one of my favorite things about the city, and something you should do, is wherever you stay in Paris, walk around and see what's near you. You'd be totally surprised. The third thing that I love about Paris, and you should be aware of, is there's so much to see, because it's an old city, and there are so many different movements in the architecture and art and things like that. So you definitely should go check out the sites and the museums. Now, that being said, I am not a touristy kind of person, because, you know, I was born and raised in a tourist city, so I try to be more of a wandering explorer as opposed to a tourist. But you will want to see some of those things, like, you know, Notre Dame. You might want to go to the Louvre, which is very cool. But there are other places that I found far more interesting. If you walk down toward the Champs-Élysées, or going toward the Champs-Élysées, then you'll see a whole bunch of other museums. So I definitely would go see museums besides the Louvre. My favorite museum is Musée d'Orsay, which is held in an old train station, and I love it because it has more contemporary art. So you're getting your Manets, your Cézannes, you're getting your Van Goghs, all of that. So that is personally my favorite museum and worth a visit. So check out the museums. Also, the museum at Cluny, which is in a small cathedral. It has some of the most beautiful art and architecture that I have seen in French buildings. And you know, people don't talk about that one as much. So see the museums, but also see the offbeat museums, which may take a little bit of digging, but definitely do that. Number 4, you can definitely get around purchasing by day. That's sort of what French culture is. You purchase enough for a day or two, and then you do it again the next day. It's definitely not like American culture, and Andy and I got to really experience that because we stayed in an apartment as opposed to staying in a hotel. So we were cooking our own meals, and there were little grocery stores near, like up the street from where we were staying, but there are also a lot of markets in Paris, like where you can just get bread and cheese and fruit, all of that. And because of that, you spend less and you eat less. So I would definitely encourage you, if you have the opportunity, especially if wherever you're staying has a kitchenette, to eat out less, if that makes sense. So don't eat at as many restaurants, but go get a bottle of wine, a loaf of bread, and some cheese, and go sit and have a picnic in the park. Or go have a picnic by the Eiffel Tower and just sit and take it all in. Definitely do that. And that's one of the things I love about the city, is that that's the vibe, that's the culture of the city, for people to just pick things up and eat. And you get to enjoy the real food of Paris, not just, you know, what they serve in the restaurants, but you can really get into the produce and the groceries and things like that, which is totally dope to me. My last tip is this: to really try at the language. A lot of people in Paris can speak English, and they are very kind about speaking with you, especially if you try at the language. I think you can get around with just knowing a few phrases, and there are plenty of ways to do that. You can get the app Duolingo, and that gives you daily practice in a whole bunch of different languages, so I would do that. I personally have, you know, a little bit of a working knowledge of French because my mom made sure I knew a little bit of French when I was a kid, but also because I studied it in school. I can read French pretty well, but, you know, I try at the language because it makes people talk to you more easily, and you never know who you're going to meet. So that's the 5th thing that I love about the city, is that if you try at the language, it takes you a long way. So definitely go about learning a few new phrases and things like that, and take those with you. If you have a guidebook with language phrases and things like that, do that, or get a little one. I found a very small Western European guidebook that had so many of the Western European languages in it, and it was quick things that you could pick up and learn that would help you to get around easily, and I paid like $10 for it. So you can definitely find something like that to help you prepare before your trip and take it with you, but definitely try at it. As always, friends, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend about the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.